Hi loves, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're seeing my face for the first time, hi, my name is Masandra Mustafa, and if you're a old subscriber and you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you. So in this video, like you've seen from the title, we are making this beautiful crochet corset puff sleeve top. So I'm gonna take you guys through the process of how you can make this for your size, for a friend, for a family, for your mom, for anybody at all, in any size as well. So I'm gonna take you guys through the process of the corset, the body, the sleeves, and I don't want to make this into too long, so let's get right into the video. So for this tutorial, I am using this beautiful yarn. Can we just get into the color pattern? I just love this pattern. So it is a 100% acrylic yarn, and this is a total of 150 gram. So I will be using this yarn with this purple yarn that I am going to mix together. So I am using this for the corset part of the top, and this is going to be for the upper part and for the sleeves. So let's get right into the tutorial. So the rest of the materials that you'll be needing is a scissors, of course. You also be needing a measurement tape because we have a lot of measurements to take, and you would also be needing an elastic, and this elastic is very stretchy. I did use black, but you can use any color compared to depending on the yarn that you're using for this project. And you will not be needing a lot of this elastic. You just need enough to go around both wrists because this is what we are going to use for your sleeve. So for this tutorial, we will be needing few measurements. So we are going to be needing your waist measurement, which is actually the main part of the pattern. And then later on, we will be using your bust and your sleeve measurement. So your sleeve width and your sleeve length measurement. So for the waist measurement, there are a few calculations that we will be needing. So my waist measurement is 30 inches, and we will be working the corset part of this panel in 2 panels. So we are working 2 panels, which means I'm going to divide my actual waist measurement, which is 30 divided by 2. That gives me 15 inches. So when it's divided by 2, that means you need to do 50 inches of both panels. So when joined together, it gives you a total of 30 inches, which is your actual waist measurement. So but because we are going for a lace-up pattern, we are going to take 2 inches away from this 15 inches, which ends up with 13 inches. The 2 inches is going to be the space between the gap between both sides for the lace up at the back of the top. So with 13 inches, you're going to go ahead and do rows of half double crochet before you start increasing for the pattern, because the top goes like this, panel goes like this, and then there is a increase on this side. So I'm not the best at drawing. Okay, this is wrong. So it goes like this, and then there is an increase on the front part, which just works the panel like this. Again, I'm not the best at drawing. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what the panel is going to be like. So I already did my first set of this panel, so I'm going to go ahead and show you. So just keep in mind, you're going to divide your total waist measurement by 2, and you're going to take 2 inches from the divided number. So in my case it's 15 inches, so I'm going to take 2 from the 15, which gives me a total of 13 inches. So keep in mind that each of the panel for the corset part of your top is going to be 13 inches in my case. So whatever measurement your waist is, your number will be different from mine. So right here, as you can see, I have one set of panel complete. Like I said, we are working with 2 panels for the corset. So when you take a measurement, this is a total of 12, almost 13 inches. Of course, it stretches all the way, so that works perfect, which is my perfect measurement. So this is a total of 13 inches, as you can see right there. So what I did was, as you can see, it goes with a straight, and then the increasing for the corset area. So I did a total of 20 inches of no increasing, and then later on I went ahead and did few more rows of increasing until I got to the exact 13 inches that I need. So for your own panel, depending on the size you're going for, I'll just advise you to take your measurement from the center of your back up until the side. So right at the center, for example, this is your back, so right at the center of your back, you're going to take out your measurement to the side. So mine is, in this case, is 6 inches. Yours can be more, yours can be less, depending on your waist measurement. So this from here to here is going to be the center of your back, because when you fold this, when it's folded, you're going to see that this is the back and this is the front. We're of course going to repeat the same pattern, which is going to complete the back and complete this front. I hope you guys understand what I'm actually doing here. But let's get right into the tutorial so you can actually start working on your own panel. So to get started, I am using a 2.5mm crochet hook. I'm using a small crochet hook because it's a corset top and I want the fitting to be tight and not see-through. So I'm going to make a slip knot. After making a slip knot, I am going to chain a total of 35. 35 is actually the length from under my bust until my waist area. So depending on how long you want your corset top to be, you're just going to take your measurement from your underbust to where you want your top to end. So I'm going to chain a total of 35. So right here I just chained a total of 35, and I am going to chain an extra one because this is a starting chain, and right into the second chain from my crochet hook I'm going to go with my first half double crochet, and I'm going to go into the next with another half double crochet, and into the next with another half double crochet. And I am going to repeat this pattern up until the very end of this row. So right here I am at the end of row 1, and at this point you should have a total of 36 if you're making the same length. If not, of course you have more chains and more half double crochet. So to get started with row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and right into the first half double crochet, which is this one right here. You're going to go in the back loops, which are these are the back loops. You're going to yarn over and insert your crochet hook in the back loop and just complete your first half double crochet. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat one half double crochet in every back loop until the very end of row 2. So at the end I should have a total of 36 half double crochet. So right here I just finished row 2, and I'm going to chain 1 and turn. So I'm going to continue this for a total of 20 rows. So I am going to go ahead and do 18 more rows, which is a total of 6 inches. So if you are doing a different size, of course yours is different. Like I said earlier, you're going to continue to do this for the measurement you're doing. So because I am doing a total of 13 inches for this panel, I am going to do 6 inches of no increasing, and then the remaining rows of inches I'm going to do with increasing. So again, it's different for every size. Just go back and check the calculations so you can have the perfect measurement for your size. So I am going to continue to do this until I have a total of 20 inches, and then I'll come back and show you guys how you can go about increasing for the rest of the panel. So right here I have my 20 rows complete. So and that is a total of 6 inches. So this is complete. Again, if you're making a different size, then that means you have a different amount of rows, but mine is going to be a total of 6 inches. So to get started with the rest of the inches that I need for this particular panel, because now I have 6 and I'm doing a total of 13, so I need to do a total of 7 more inches to get the complete width. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and right into this first half double crochet in the back loop, I'm going to go in with 2 half double crochets because this is an increase row. So I'm going to go with my first one and now with my second half double crochet and into the next with 1. So I'm going to continue to do 1 half double crochet in each half double crochet from the previous row because we are only increasing on the first half double crochet. So coming to the end of the row, I will not be increasing on this side of the panel. We are only going to increase on the opposite side. So right here with my last half double crochet, I'm just going to chain 1 and I'm going to continue the same pattern until I get to the end where I'm going to do my second set of increase. So this is just 1 half double crochet in the back loop until the very end. So coming to the end of this row, which is row 22 in my case, I'm going to go ahead and do my last half double crochet. Make sure I don't skip the last increase that I did from the previous row. And now I'm going to go ahead and do my extra 1 half double crochet, which completes my increase row. So I'm going to chain 1 turn and right into this first half double crochet increase, I'm going to go with 2 half double crochet in the back loop. And I'm going to go ahead and do 1 half double crochet in every half double crochet up until the end of the row. So I'm basically going to continue this pattern of increase until I have a total of 7 inches, which completes my panel with the 6 inches that I did with no increasing and no decreasing. So remember, whenever you get to the upper part of your panel, you're not going to do increasing, and when you get to the lower part, there, right here, you're going to do your increase until you have your amount, the right amount of rows that you're going for, or the right amount of inches you're going for your own size. So I'm going to complete this and then I'll be back with my piece complete. So right here I have my panel complete, and again I already did the first panel, so this is complete. I have both panels complete. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to go ahead and assemble my panel. So right where I started with my increasing, I am going to fold this like that, and I'm going to do the same for the opposite side. So this is what your corset panel should look like. So now I'm going to go ahead and single crochet these 2 sides together so it becomes one piece. So guys, right here I just single crocheted my 2 panel, the end of my 2 panels together. So this is what my corset is looking like. Of course, this should be inside, and it's also very stretchy. So this is my perfect size. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off my yarn, and then we can start with the next part of the tutorial. So now that I have my corset complete, I am going to go ahead and do my lace up pattern on this 2 end, because this is going to give me the chance to lace it up so I can start working on the body of the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my lace up pattern on the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my yarn at the one edge of the panel and make a secure knot. So my lace up pattern is basically always the same. If you've seen a few of my tutorials, then you already know. So my lace up pattern is I'm going to chain 3, sorry. I'm going to skip the first 2 half double crochet. So right here there are chains, because this was where we did the chains before we started our rows of half double crochet. But I'm going to go ahead and skip this first and second. Right into the third, I'm going to go with a single crochet, and I'm going to single crochet in the next. Chain 3 again, skip 2 and into the third with a single crochet, and into the next with another single crochet. Chain 3, skip 2 and into the third with a single crochet, and into the next with another single crochet. So I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way till the end of this row. So after my 2 last, so I did single crochet and did extra single crochet. Now I only have 1 space, so I'm just going to go right in there with my single crochet just to seal this off. So as you can see, we have like loops where we are going to be doing a lace up pattern. So from here on, I'm just going to go ahead and chain a random chain, just long enough so I will be able to lace up my corset at the end. So guys, right here I have random chains. So I did not count how many chains, because again, this is not something that you need to focus on the amount of chains that you need. So basically you're just going to make a chain that is long enough to go through your lace up area. So now I'm just going to go back with my into my chains with half double crochet up until the beginning, where I'm going to seal it off, and I'll repeat the same pattern onto the opposite side, and that part, then the corset is complete, and I'll come back and so we can start the body of the sweater, of the top. So guys, right here I have my corset part of the top complete. Again, I went ahead and repeat the same lace up pattern for the opposite side, and then I did give it a string as well, the same amount, the same length. So now to get started with the top, you're going to go ahead and fold your top with the seam right at the center, because this is going to be the center of your top. So you're going to go ahead and just straighten this just to make sure everything is right at the center. And for the upper part of the top, I have decided to go with a different type of yarn. So I'm going with this purple yarn. So this is a 100% acrylic yarn, and this is a medium weight. And with my 2mm crochet hook, I am going to, so first I'm going to go ahead and sew this end so it doesn't distract me from the actual yarn that I'm going to start working with. So I'm going to sew this in. So if you have any string there, make sure you go and sew it in, just so it doesn't distract you as well. But again, you can use the same type of yarn for this top. It doesn't have to be a different one. I am using a different one because that's what I'm going for, but it doesn't have to be the same. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off all this extra yarns that I have lying around. So now I'm going to take the end of my other yarn, and right at one side of the corset, I'm going to make a knot. So I'm going to make knot at the right side of the corset. The reason why is because we are going to work in rounds, and we want the stitch to be outside instead of inside. I think you understand in a bit what I actually mean. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and make attach my yarn with a knot. And I'm going to make sure I secure this. So after attaching my yarn, all I'm going to do in this case is I'm just going to slip stitch into the other side of the corset, onto the other end of the corset. So right there into this first stitch, I'm going to go in there and slip stitch together. Right there. So now we have attached the two ends of the corset. So in this case, you can go ahead and do single crochet in every space available, but I already did that, so I am going to skip that part. But after attaching your yarn, you can go ahead and do single crochet just to knit in the corset part, so you can get ready for the actual body or the actual panel that we're about to work on. So in my case, because I already did that, I'm going to skip it. So again, when you go around and then you come to this point, then this is where you're going to start the actual body. So if we remember, we did use our waist measurement for the corset, which means it's small for the bust part of our body. So my bust measurement is 34 inches and my waist measurement is 29-30 inches. So of course it's few inches wider than my waist measurement. So for that reason, we are going to go ahead and increase in this first row of double crochet, because we'll be working double crochet from here on. So we are going to go ahead and do few increasing. So again, there is no particular way of increasing. You're just going to increase in an equal manner. So basically for my own row, I am going to increase every 10. So every 10 half double crochet, I'm going to increase in the 11th half double crochet. So from here, after my slip stitch, I'm not going to chain anything, because we are going to be working in rounds and we do not want to seam. So we are not going to chain anything, and I'm just going to yarn over. And again, I'm going to take this extra yarn that I have after slip stitching, and I'm going to make sure I double crochet right on top of it, just so I don't have to sew it at the end of the top. So I'm going to yarn over, and right into this first half double crochet, I'm going to go right there with my first half double crochet, into the next with my half double crochet, into the next with another half double crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and do 10 half double crochets. So now that I have 10 half double crochet, right into this 11th half single crochet that I did for my first row, I'm going to go ahead and do two half double crochets, sorry, because that is my first increase. So again, like I said, there is no way to increase. I do not have an actual calculation of how to increase for your size, but you're just going to, depending on the difference between your bust and your waist measurement, you're going to just visualize it and increase in that manner. So after the first row, if it's a bit too small, then you can go ahead and increase on the second row. But this always works for my size, so that's the reason why I increase with this pattern. But you can increase in whatever pattern depending on the difference between your waist and your bust measurement. So now from here on, I'm just going to go ahead and do 10 more half double crochet in every space. And right into this 11th, I'm going to go with my 2 half double crochet to seal off my second row, second increase. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same pattern for the entire row with 10 double crochet, and on the 11th, the half single crochet, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 double crochet right into the same space. So right here, I just came back to the starting point where we started. As you can see, there is an increase that is going on right there. So I'm going to go ahead and take my measurement and measure how wide this is at this point. So at the end of this point, mine is a total of 16 inches when it's stretched, almost 17 inches basically. So because of that, I will not be doing any increasing again, because 17 inches, 16 and a half, when it's multiplied by 2, it's a total of 33 inches. So the reason why I'm not adding is my bust measurement is 34 inches, so it's just an inches difference, and I think it will stretch more if I have it on. So I would not go ahead and do any more increasing. But if yours doesn't add up to your actual bust measurement, then I'll advise you to go for the second round with more increasing. Again, like I said, I do not have an actual increase pattern for different sizes because I just don't have any. So I'm just going to show you guys how I make this for my size and any other size whenever I have a custom order. So in my case, again, like I said, I will not be adding any more increasing on the second row because the first row just adds up to my actual size. But if it's a bit bigger, then I'll advise you to go ahead and play around with the increasing for the first row. If it's a bit smaller, then I'll advise you to add more increasing on the second row. You will have to figure out how you can go about increasing for your size. So yes. So to get started with row 2, like I mentioned earlier, we are not chaining one at the beginning of each row because we are working in rounds and I do not want to seam. So what I'm going to do in this case is right on top of this first after row crochet, right on top of this first slip stitch, because we did slip stitch both ends of the panel together. So right here I'm going to go with another half double crochet in my case, and I'm just going to go ahead and do 1 double crochet all around until I get to the beginning of this row again. So because I'm not increasing, I am going to do 1 double crochets. But if you are increasing for your row, for your own size, then of course you go ahead and do more increasing instead of just 1 double crochet in every space. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 double crochet in every double crochet from the previous row, and then I'll come back and show you guys how we can go about row 3 and the rest of the rows. So coming right at the end of row 2, I am going to continue with row 3, and I'm going to do this for a total of 5 inches. So I am going to do it for a total of 5 inches, and 5 inches is basically from under your bust to your armpit area. So you're going to continue to do rows of half double crochet. So for now I have like almost 1 inches, so I'm basically going to continue to do rows of half double crochet until this is 5 inches long, because this is going to be right from under my bust till my armpit, under my armpit area, because that is where we are going to start decreasing for the armpit hole. So you're just going to continue this pattern for few more inches, so you can have a total of 5 inches. So from here on, I am going to go ahead and take my measurement tape first, and because we are going to work on the back, it's difficult for me to explain what we're going to work on, but again, we are going to work from under our armpit hole up until the shoulder area. So for that, I am going to take my measurement and measure 5 inches, and the 5 inches is basically from my back, from under my armpit up onto my back. You can make this longer, you can make this shorter, but I think around 5 inches is a good measurement. So right here I'm going to go ahead and attach my yarn right there, because there is going to be an opening at the back. So right here I'm going to go ahead and attach my yarn. And I'm going to go ahead and make a secure knot. So from here on, I'm just going to go ahead and do one double crochet all around until I get to this area, because right here we are going to go ahead and do the same thing we did for the opposite end, which is 5 inches. So I'm basically going to go ahead and do one double crochet all around until I get to this area. So after my 5 inches of length, which is from under my bust to my armpit area, I am going to work my way to the side, which is where I'm going to seal off and cut off my yarn. I did lost the clip of that, so I cannot really show you guys, but basically you're going to work your way to the side where you're going to seal off your work, because after the 5 inches we are going to start with the neckline design, what we are going to go for. So after sealing off your row right there, so now we are going to work on the neckline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my yarn and then I'm going to attach it right where I sealed this off. Exactly where I sealed this off at the side, that is where I'm going to attach my new yarn. And from here on, I'm going to go ahead and do after double crochet up until the middle of this front part of the top. So basically mine is a total of 19 inches. So the half of 19 inches should be a total of 9.5. So right here, which is my 9.5, this is where I'm going to stop with my double crochets, because this is where we're going to shape the neckline. So right here I'm going to go with my first double crochet, and I'm also going to make sure I double crochet right under the rest of this remaining yarn, so I don't have to do this at the end. And then one double crochet up until that end. So knowing that this is 9.5 right at the center, you can go ahead and count your stitches as well. So if you want to use your stitches to tell the center, so you can go ahead and do that, but I am going to use measurement instead. So now I know that I'm actually at the center. What I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to go ahead and take off this last stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and decrease right there. So I just like, this is the last stitch that I was supposed to put my last double crochet into. What I did was decrease it with the next space right there, and we're going to do the same for the opposite side. So from here on, we are going to turn our, so after turning your work, you're going to skip this first double crochet, and into the second you're going to go with your first double crochet. So you're not chaining anything because we are decreasing for the beginning of each row. So right into the second with my first double crochet, and I'm going to go ahead and do one double crochet up. I'm going to do double crochet up until the end of the row where we started with on the side. So coming up right at the beginning where we did, which is, let me turn this around, which is this end where we attached the yarn, we have 2 more double crochet remaining from the previous row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease these two together and make it one double crochet, because we are decreasing it at the beginning and at the end for the neckline. There you go. So after decreasing that, you're going to turn your work again, and in this case you're going to do another decreasing. So you're going to skip this first double crochet and not chain anything. In the second double crochet you're going to go with your first double crochet and into the next with another. So you're going to repeat this up until the end of the row, where you're going to do another decrease right at the end right there. So now that I'm actually at the end, I have 2 double crochets. This is a decrease double crochet and this is a normal double crochet. So what I'm going to do in this case, because we are decreasing again, we are going to yarn over, insert a crochet hook. Instead of yarning over and pulling through, we are going to go ahead and decrease with the last stitch right there. So there we have our other decrease complete. So after the third row of decrease, I am going to continue this for another few inches, which in my case is going to be so at this point, from under my bust up until my shoulder area is about 12 and a half, 13 inches. But again, when this stretches, it stretches more than that, so I am going to go for 12 inches in my case. So I'm basically going to continue to decrease on both area for each row until this part of the top is all the way till 1 and all the way till 12 inches. Basically at this point it's 6 and a half, so I'm going to in this case increase for 5 and a half more inches until I get to the right, until I have a total of 12 inches basically, because then I have the front part of the top complete, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a few more rows for the strap, which we are going to attach to the back of the top. So I'm going to work on that to you and come back and show you guys what I mean and what I'm talking about, so you can get an idea of what I'm actually talking about. So guys, right here I am back and I did few rows, and at this point it's a total of 11 inches. But again, the reason why I stopped with decreasing is because we are going to work the strap from the front and then we attach it to the back. And at this point I have a total of 10 double crochet, which is a total of 2.5 inches. So this is how wide I want my straps to be that I'm going to be attaching to the back. So if you want yours to be less, then of course you can still go ahead and do more decreasing, but at this point I will not be decreasing anymore. But I'm still going to go ahead and do a few more rows until I have a total of 12 inches, because it's still 11.5 inches. And then afterwards, for the back strap that I'm going to be attaching, I am going to continue to do rows after doing after having the 12 inches. I'm going to continue to do the same amount of inches that when you take your measurement at the back, you can see that this is a total of 6 inches, 6.5, 7 inches. So after a total of 12 inches, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, by the way. So after I have a total of 12 inches right here, so for now I have 11.5, so a few more rows, probably 1 or 2, I will have a total of 12 inches. I am going to do another additional 6 inches, that I'm going to attach to the back as a strap. But I will not be doing any increasing and decreasing because I already have the right amount that I want for my band, basically for the strap. So right from here, I'm not going to do any decrease anymore. That was my last row of decreasing. So I'm just going to go ahead and chain 1 now, because we are not decreasing at this point. And right into this first half double crochet, I'm going to go with my first half double crochet, in this case, and then 1 double crochet up until the very end. And right into this decrease, I'm going to go with 1 more, just so I make sure at the end I shall have a total of 10. So I'm going to continue to do this. So chain 1, there. At this point it's a total of 12 inches, which means I have the perfect length for this front part. So what I'm going to do in this case, I'm just going to continue to do rows of double crochet for 6 more inches, because that is going to be the strap, like I mentioned, that we will be attaching to the back of this top. So I'm going to go ahead and do 6 more inches of double crochet, rows of double crochet, and then I'm going to come back and show you how we can go about attaching that to the back part of the top. So guys, right here I have my total of 6 inches complete, and if I do take a measurement of the length, it is going to be a total of 18 inches in total. So to fix the strap, you're going to lay it flat like this and see where the strap actually falls, and in this case it falls right between this area. So what we are going to do to seal this, attach this to the opposite, to the back of the panel, is, see, you can go ahead and turn this over, but I think that's a lot of work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it like this, making sure it's actually at the right spot. And when I actually have it all at the right spot, I'm going to go ahead and just single crochet it together like this, like that. And I'm just going to turn this so it makes it easier for me to single crochet together.
I'm going to seal this off.
So at this point, this is how it looks from the back, and this is how it looks from the front. So I am going to go ahead and repeat the same process that we did for this side on the opposite side. So you can go ahead and rewind and go back to where we started with this end, so you can repeat the same process. So I'm going to repeat that, and then I'll come back and show you guys how we can go about the sleeve of the top. So guys, right here I have this top complete. I got the other side complete. So at this point, you can decide if you want to add sleeve or if you don't want to add sleeve, but I am going to add sleeve, and I'm going to do a puff sleeve. And so for that, I will be switching my crochet hook to a bigger crochet hook, and in this case I am going to use a 4mm. So to get started with my sleeve, I am going to take my yarn, and right under this armpit area is where I'm going to go ahead and attach my yarn right there. With a secure knot. And I'm going to go ahead and single crochet my way all around through the strap, all around back to this beginning stage. So I'm going to go ahead and chain 1 and just single crochet in every space available. So basically you're just going to do 1 single crochet in every space available, but make sure you count how many single crochets you do, because you're going to be doing the same process for the opposite sleeve, just so you have the same amount of double crochets for your sleeve, so your sleeve is the same amount of width. Right here I'm back to where I started with my single crochet. So now we are going to start our rows of double crochet, but we are going to increase on the first row just the way we did for the bust area. So what I'm going to do, the increase pattern that I'm going to use in this case is just 1 double crochet, and into the next I'm going to go ahead and do 2 double crochet right there, and into the next I'm going to go with 1, and into the next with 2. So I'm going to go ahead and continue this increase pattern for the entire row. So whenever I do 1 double crochet, the next space is going to be 2 double crochet. So I'm going to continue this pattern until I get to the end of the row. So right here I'm actually at the end of the first row. So whenever I get to this side where I have my attached here, and then I am at the first row, which is this side from my case. So from now on, I'm just going to go ahead and do rows of 1 double crochet in every space, and I'm going to continue to do this until I have my desired sleeve length. So depending on how long or how short you want the sleeve to be, you're just going to continue to do the same thing up until you have your desired length. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back and show you guys how we can go about adding elastic to the sleeves. So guys, coming up, I have one sleeve almost complete. I have the desired length that I am going for, and in my case it's a total of 22 inches. Let's check the measurements to be sure. So right from the straps that we made, because these are going to be on the shoulders, so you're going to take your measurement right from the straps there up until the very end. So mine is a total of 21, almost 22 inches. So this is my perfect length. So if you want yours to be shorter, you could have just done less rows, and if you want yours to be longer, you can just do more rows as well. So this is where we go ahead and add our elastic. So like I mentioned, we are going to be using this elastic band to stitch the sleeves together. So I already sewed mine with a sewing machine together, but again, you can go ahead and make a secure knot if you do not have a sewing machine, or you can go ahead and also just tie it off and sew it together. Anything works, to be honest. I use the sewing machine because it is available, and because I had other things I was doing with my sewing machine, so I just decided to sew mine together. You're just going to make sure it's wide enough to go around your wrist. So I don't want mine to be too tight, so I did go in a little bit too loose. You're just going to make sure it's able to go around your wrist and it's not a bit too tight. So now that I have my desired length, I am going to make sure I work my way up until this part of the top, because this is where we started with our rows, and this is going to be under the armpit. So when you start attaching your elastic there, it's not visible basically. So I'm going to continue my rows of double crochet until I get to that part of the top. So guys, right here I have worked my way up until the armpit area. As you can see, the sleeves are wide. Again, this is optional if you don't want to go for a puff sleeve, but this is what I am going for, and as you can see, they're actually really wide. So this is where we are going to use the elastic to snitch it to our actual size for the wrist, and then this is just easy. It's actually very easy. So all you're going to do in this case is, I usually take the M part of my elastic right there, and I'm just going to go ahead and single crochet over the elastic. So what you're going to do in this case, you're going to take your elastic with your other hand, and then you're just going to attach it right under like this, making sure that the seam area is right between this last double crochet you did and the next one, your single crochet you're about to do. So right from here, you're going to insert your crochet hook into the stitch as if you're doing an usual single crochet, but instead of pulling through right there, you're going to make sure your crochet hook goes underneath the elastic, because this is where we are going to single crochet the elastic to the sleeves. So you're going to insert your crochet hook into the usual spot, and then you're going to make sure your crochet hook goes underneath the elastic, and afterwards you're going to pull through like this, and then you're just usually going to yarn over and pull through, and that's one single crochet. So I'm going to repeat. You're going to insert your crochet hook right under your elastic, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through. Again, insert your crochet hook, make sure it goes underneath the elastic, so the elastic is here and your crochet hook is there. You're going to pull through, making sure you take the yarn out. You're going to yarn over and pull through again. So as you can see, the elastic is being attached to the yarn, to the sleeve. So I'm just going to continue this up until the very end, making sure I have every double crochet attached to my elastic. So right here I have everything single crochet together. So I am going to go ahead and just space this out, because I did tighten it up just to make space for single crochet. so I'll be able to single crochet everything together. So now that I have the single crochet together, I am just going to cut this off and sew in my loose ends. So this is basically it for the sleeves, and I'm also going to go ahead and repeat the same pattern for the opposite sleeve, and then your top is actually complete. So I am going to go ahead and do that, and I'll come back and show you guys the final result, which you would have already seen by the way, but I'll come back and show you guys what the top looks like with both sleeve complete. So I'm just going to sew in my loose ends right there. You can either sew it in the sleeve itself or through the elastic. Anything can be done. And I'm going to cut this right off. So this is one sleeve complete. I am going to go ahead and repeat the same process for the opposite sleeve, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the top looks like with both sleeves complete. So guys, this is the final top. I did go ahead and do the lace up at the back, and this is how it looks. I really love the outcome, and of course the statement sleeve as always. That's me. But I actually love the way this top turned out, and I cannot wait to make more for other people and also make more for myself, because this is something I'll probably need different colors of in my wardrobe. So if you do like this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, because it's going to help my channel to grow, and YouTube will be able to push my content to other more group of crochet people. I don't even know how to end this video, but thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the love, and if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to join the family, subscribe, because I have lots of more crochet tutorials and crochet content coming up. And if you like this video, of course, give me a big thumbs up. And if you have any other video questions or suggestions, or any questions regarding this tutorial as well, drop them down in the comment section, and I'll definitely make time to answer the questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Ciao, ciao.